So we're establishing how your mother, Eveline, was able to take care of 13 children through a little bit of farming and government assistance. And your mom was obviously a very strong woman. Was she a religious person?
Very religious. And she taught us when we were 3 and 4 years old to keep our breast tails down. We sat with our underwear exposed. She would take a switch and strap our legs and say, put your breast down, put your feet down, and cross your legs.
Right.
And people of today, I just wonder how they teach their children.
Right. Well, did you attend church? Was there a church out there on P-Patch?
We had to walk away off the mountain to a church. I remember old man Dave Stacy come up there, he was a preacher. And up right where the chestnut orchard is, up there where that busy cemetery is, he built a brush harbor. And that's the first time I've ever seen her till then.
Yeah.
And it's the first holiness religion, that branch of the religion, which I probably could now, but then I didn't know that.
Right.
And they would shout, and they would jump up in their seats, and they would slap their hands over their heads and scream and
Really?
happy.
Yeah.
And that was a thrill to me. It was like going to a carnival. Just, and we'd discuss it. And I remember they'd talk in tongues, and I didn't know what it was. And I remember Effie, my sister, we was playing in the dining room. Off this old big house, but started leaking and wind was blowing out. And I had to have it tore down, the smaller house built out of it. He died before he didn't finish. And I remember me and Effie and May, I guess, was in the dining room. Was shouting. We was having church. She was about 11 or 12, and I was about 5 or 6. And so anyway, Mommy was gone. And when Mommy come in, we heard Mommy always kept a sinus drainage. She didn't smoke or nothing like that, but she would always go, her throat would get dry, and she'd clear her throat. We said, there's Mommy. So we broke the run. We had to jump out the back door, which was, I guess, 3 feet down. And it had a back porch, but part of it was gone. My daddy didn't. He died with tuberculosis in the lungs before he got finished. And so anyway, I broke the run there. I said anyway, I broke the run out in the orchard and hid. And Effie, she went when we slammed. Effie was shouting, and she hit the door, and the door fell back into the picture hanging on the wall, which was Mommy's and Papa's big oval framed enlarged picture. The glass moved down on it, rounded on it instead of once flat across.
Right.
And from that day on, it never did have a flash back in the frame, and it smoked, of course, down through the years.
But you did attend church, but not necessarily every Sunday, but when you could get
When
to
we
it,
could
just
get
because
to
you had to
church.
go so far to get there.
Well, yeah, there would be, we went to all the funerals and around that mountaintop and decorations, reunions every year. Everybody'd have a family reunion. But in the wintertime, we didn't get to go. Not like they've got a church there on my dad's old farm there.
Well, how old were you when you first attended school?
Then you had to be 7.
You had to be 7 years old, is that right?
And we had the Baby Ray Primer. First book.
Baby Ray Primer?
And then it went to Dick and Jane. I believe Dick and Jane. And then from that it changed to maybe something, a nail, Bob and Nail or something. I don't know what
So
his
you
name.
learned to read when you were about 7?
Yes.
And did your mother, Eveline, was she a reader? Was she?
Yes, she helped us with
She
the
could read, okay. So she had learned. Okay. And how far did you have to go again to get to the school?
We had to walk at least 4 miles a day, if not more.
Really? Wow.
We didn't care. That's all we knew. We'd just take off running.
It was a small school,
Well, it was one-room schoolhouse.
one-room schoolhouse, so you
My
had
uncle-
all these different grades in one room.
Yeah. My Uncle
It
Britt
must have been complicated.
donated the property on his part of his inheritance on the old farm.
Right.
And he donated the land, and I guess the community built the church. I don't know who built the church.
Yeah.
But I remember they had white weatherboarding on it. And they had, it was ceiling, what we call ceiling then. Now they put paneling inside.
Right.
And it had a tin roof. They painted it red, they painted the roof red. I guess that was all. Maybe that was the going thing, the tin roof red.
Right.
And that stood until not over 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
And somebody tore it down.
Okay. Well, now, you obviously had to work hard with your mom. I guess from the time you were old enough to do anything, you had to get out, do the farming and feed the animals and do the tilling and planting and all that stuff that you had to do. So you really didn't have that much time to be a child, be a kid, and have fun. if and when you did ever have any spare time, what did you and your siblings do to have it? Were you ever able to go out and just be kids,
Well,
play and have fun?
on Sunday evening,
Sunday evenings.
and but Saturday evening we'd clean house. And a lot of times she'd put us out sweeping the yard. And if our broom was too near worn out to sweep the yard with, and my daddy had set 2 cedar trees out there on that knoll out front of the house when we started up that bank there. She'd run us out there to break. She'd say, run out there and break a couple of big wide switches, branches with a lot of cedar brush on it so we could sweep the yard with. And we'd get 2 or 3 and sort of tie them long enough, you know, so we
Made rakes.
made brooms out of it, swept the dirt, swept the yard. Yeah, well, it didn't have grass on it. We kept it clean. Well, we was barefooted. We had to walk on our bare feet. We couldn't, the gravel and stuff like that be laying around loose. If we found a loose gravel, the chickens would dug up, pick it up and throw it away because it'd tear our foot up later.
What kind of medical care, if any, was available to you when you were a child? There were midwives around that area. Okay, were there any doctors that would actually come to where you were? No. So if
And my
if
daddy-
one of your sisters or brothers got sick, what did you do?
You loaded up on a horse. If you didn't have somebody to help you put it in front of you. If it was little, if it was big, you'd put it behind you on a horse and ride off that mountain. And I guess if anybody was really deathly ill, they put them in a sled or a wagon and pull them off.
So you had to go down into the town of Richland.
No, yeah.
Find a doctor.
I never went to Richlands till I was a grown girl. We went to the west.
Well, I know what I'm saying. If somebody
Yeah.
was ill, that's where they had to go.
We went
But you never made it into town. So you how old?
big enough to walk to town, about 7 or 8 miles or 10. And then it was just a little goldfield town.
Yeah.
But it was sitting off that mountaintop.
Right.
Buying us a cone of ice cream or a bottle of pop, we called it.
So you had bottled soda back then. I guess I had Coca-Cola
Yeah.
for a long time.
Nickel and dime. That's the size of that.
It's a real treat for you, I bet.
Why we'd walk for miles. And we'd hoe corn, make 50 cents a day. We'd have spare.
So you
spare
did
days.
actually make money. You did
I
actually
mean,
go.
we made
when
everything
you
we could,
could,
but there wasn't that much to make.
Yeah.
I stayed with people for $1 a week, and I'd stay about 2 weeks with them when they'd have their babies after I got up 14, 15 years old. Because their husbands worked, and then the doctors made you lay in the bed 9 days when you had a baby. Now they get you up that day and have you walk. But it's just the difference in a midwife. All she knew was a book somebody had ordered years gone by and probably passed it on down to the next one got old. They called them kitchen babies.
Baby catchers.
I remember one time I was sitting there at a neighbor's house and I was playing with their little girls. And they both been us with mine. We was out in the porch playing with their dogs. And I heard one of them ask the other one, said, well now, who called her baby? And I looked at them and they didn't notice me. And she said, oh, Aunt Louie Moles. Said she caught that baby. And I thought, well, did a baby run? I mean, I'd always seen a baby laying black as back.
You didn't know what they were talking
I
about.
didn't know what to. No, there was no sex talk said about nothing.
Okay. Well, in the household there, with your mom and all the brothers and sisters, what was a general thing that you would do together? Did you ever sing songs together?
Yeah.
So you did sing
Well, we'd
songs?
sit out on that front porch and a big old swing and get the hymn book and scream to the top of our voice.
Is that right? So that was a good way for you all to bond, and I'm sure that helped the family. And also, you said you had a record player, a Victrola,
Big Victrola.
and you called it a
It stood up.
talking
like a little
machine?
cabinet, and we called it a talking machine.
talking machine Victrola. And this, you had to wind it up,
And to crank it up.
Crank it up,
Crank an old
set the
money
album on there.
cars.
and what kind of speaker? Do you remember where the sound came from? Did it just emanate from the?
It would come out the front, but the front had a piece of velvet top on it, so I don't know what it looked
Okay,
like
so
inside.
it wasn't very loud, but you could.
Well, you carry it
Oh, it was
all
loud enough
all
for
over the
everybody.
house.
Oh, okay.
Or out in the yard, up there at the Victrola plant.
Well, I'd love to have one of those.
Louise got that, and I don't know whatever happened to it. I'd say some of her children got it.
Right. And you had all these albums that your father had bought before he passed away, right?
It wasn't albums, it was just single records,
Single, okay.
wax records.
Oh, so it'd just be one song?
Yeah,
One
one song
okay.
on each side.
I got you. All right, and how old were you when you guys got a radio? Do you remember that? That must
I
have been a big
remember
deal.
Mommy bought a radio from Otis King and paid him $20. She gave me $4 down,
Uh-huh.
and it had a battery. Wasn't no electricity.
Didn't have
on it
electricity
now.
up on that,
No.
yeah.
It was made in the shape of a car battery, only it was long.
Uh-huh.
And about every 3 or 4 months, you take that, it would run down, and then you take it off the mountain. I guess, to a service station, and they'd
They
recharge.
recharged,
And they
and that's how
charge
you listen to the
a
radio.
couple dollars.
Yeah.
And then, but she'd have to catch somebody with a car
Uh-huh.
going that way
Right.
to send it, and then pay them to take it, and then pay the man for charging it up.